Freedom and love go together. Love is not a reaction. If I love you because you love me, that's a mere trade, a thing to be bought in the market. It is not love. To love is not to ask anything in return, not even to feel that you are giving something. And it is only such love that can know freedom. Beautifully said by Jiddu Krishnamurti. As usual on the Wednesday morning, you are listening to your Wisdom on the Go, brought to you by Live Light Productions and Charl Botha. With one kind gesture, you can change a life. One person at a time, you can change the world. One day at a time, we can change everything. Steve Maraboli. As you will remember, on Wednesdays we hit the road on the lookout for some signposts along the way to change. And today we're going to look at the sixth one, and the sixth one is take it day by day, step by step. Transformational change is created through daily individual actions. There is no milestone to be reached because it is a process that lasts a lifetime. All you can do is take a step every day to get closer to the person you wish to become. And every now and then, stop to reflect on who you are today and compare it with who you were yesterday. Isn't it absolutely amazing to realize that the tall standing oak tree was 60 years ago a mere acorn? A feeling that all of us are quite familiar with, especially at the end of the year, is this feeling of, I've had enough. It's time for a break. Or because to most of us, our lives feels like running on a treadmill. On the treadmill, you can see you've been running for a certain amount of time and quite a number of kilometers, but you are still in the same place. A number of years ago, me and my children decided to climb a high mountain. My little one was too small at that stage to climb the mountain all by herself, and Daddy had to carry her all the way up the mountain on his shoulders. Halfway to the top, everything in Daddy started to quiver. It felt like I was never going to make it to the top of the mountain. We stopped for a rest, and as we sat down for a breather, we looked the other way. Not to the top anymore, but back on the way that we've climbed up to that point where we were. And then all of a sudden I realized I was still on the same mountain, but I definitely was not at the point where we've started. As I've told you previously, they've asked Edmund Hillary, who first summited Everest, how did you manage to get to the top of Everest? And he remarked and said, only by taking the next step. Let me quickly remind you what we've been saying to one another right in the beginning. There's no milestone to be reached because it is a process that lasts a lifetime. All you and I need to do is take today's step to get closer to the person you wish to become. But you have to take the next step because there is only two ways to get to the top of an oak tree. You can either climb it or you can go and sit on an acorn and wait for it to start growing. I have two very important appointments with God in a year. In the beginning of the year, I would go off to a quiet place, and then I would make a list of all the things that are irritating me about myself. All the things that I feel need to change in my life. And quite often, I would also invite other people to tell me what they think and experience that need to change in my life. So I make a list of all my faults as well as my defaults, and at the same time rate myself out of 10 on a physical level, soul level, and a spiritual level. And you know, it's so amazing when you look back at the list that you've compiled at the beginning of the year to realize that there was some remarkable changes in your life. So, quite often we need to look back to see our progress, and that must motivate us to keep on climbing, just giving and taking the next step. Only you can take the step that you need to take today to come closer to the person you were intended to be by God.